Hello everyone, welcome back to Owen's Treats. Today we'll be making apple fudge squares. Now, I know that sounds a little peculiar and a little bit bizarre, but courtesy of my mom for getting this recipe, it is a vintage recipe, so be warned. But on my mom's word, she says it tastes good, so let's get into it. For this recipe, you will need 2 ounces of unsweetened chocolate, 1/2 cup of shortening, 1 cup of sugar, 2 eggs well beaten. I've beaten these for 1 to 2 minutes. 2/3 cup of applesauce, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, ½ teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, and 1 cup of flour, all in here, as well as 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then optionally, you can add walnuts, you can add pecans, whatever type of nut you want. You can add this to the dish, but I'm just not going to add any. I'm going to keep it plain. So for our first step, we're going to take our 1 ounce squares of unsweetened chocolate, and we're going to pop it into a microwave safe bowl, as well as our shortening. We're just going to melt these together in the microwave. We're going to microwave these for 30-second increments until it's all completely melted and you can blend it smoothly with a whisk. And then we'll move on to the ingredients that will be added to this. So now that we have blended or melted, I should say, our chocolate and our shortening together, it should look like this. If it seems liquidy, too liquidy, don't worry about it, that's normal. So we're going to add this out of our microwave bowl to a bigger bowl. And then we're going to add in our sugar, our 1 cup of sugar. I know it seems like a lot, but trust me, it needs this. Then our eggs. We'll re-stir. Then add in your eggs. And then add in your applesauce. Oh yeah, before you do this, you want to make sure that your chocolate and other mixtures completely cool down, because your eggs might scramble inside your chocolate mixture if it's too hot. So make sure it is at room temperature or not even a little bit cold. Then we're going to simply whisk this together, / blend this together, if you're going to use a regular standard mixer. And then while stirring, you're going to add in your vanilla, 1 teaspoon. So now that we have this together, we're going to set this off to the side. Then we're going to take in our flour mixture that has the baking soda, baking powder, and salt. Then we're going to take a fork, and we're just going to lightly stir this together. Then we are going to take our flour mixture, and we're going to add it into the chocolate mixture. I'm going to do this in half because I know I'm going to get flour all over the place if I do it all in one big chunk. Now these come out like brownies. They're more like the consistency of brownies, but they call it fudge because it has the shortening, so that's why they call it that. We're going to mix this until well combined, and then we're going to pour it into our 8x8 pan. I'm using a glass pan, but if you have a metal pan or a deep sheet pan, then that is totally okay. Just make sure it's at least 8x8. Scraping down the sides, make sure you get all the flour incorporated, and just sort of folding it together. It should like pull away from the sides when you scrape it, and that's when you know you have a nice, good batter kind of consistency for your fudge, which I personally call it. So then we're going to pour this into our pan. I've greased this already, so do not worry. We have our oven preheating at 350, and then we'll add in our mixture, and then we're going to bake it to 35 to 40 minutes. Another good tip that I would suggest is that if you really want to spice this recipe up a little bit, instead of adding chopped walnuts or pecans as it does say, you can actually add chocolate chips. It'll give it that nice sweetness and also get you a nice little crunch in between, if you get what I mean. Just make sure you have it nice and even. Use your spatula to kind of push it down into all the sides. And you're going to level it, just shaking it back and forth, tapping it a little bit. And then there is our mixture in our pan. Like I said, we have our oven preheating at 350, and we're going to bake these for 35 to 40 minutes until you can stick a toothpick into it and it comes out clean. And this is our brownies after the bake. They look amazing. I put a little bit of chocolate glaze on top. So thank you all for joining me on another episode of Owen's Treats, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.